welcome back to the Better Fitness Proof podcast. I'm joined with one of my amazing all-star members, Laura Huff. Laura, can you say hello to everybody and introduce yourself for those who don't know you?
Hi, everyone. I am Laura Huff, a.k.a. Bubbles.
Yes.
I know Matt. I've been here for almost 3 years.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to even think about, but I've known Matt for longer than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, let's see, 2007. When did you start?
Yeah,
2007?
2007.
So 14 years. How old are we?
Longer than I've known my wife.
Oh, don't tell me.
Longer than Lynn. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, seriously.
We met at Millersville University.
Go Marauders.
Woo.
Whoop, whoop.
And we are now reconnected in our adult life.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be that you were one of our bubbliest, most supportive members, and you have such a unique story. And
gosh.
I want you to bring us all the way back and tell the
Sure.
story. And let's start from the way beginning so that everyone can really truly see the Laura Huff.
Yeah, the Huff.
The Huff.
So volleyball runs deep in my family. It all started because my older sister was bad at tennis, which is my parents' sport. So because she was bad at tennis, there was only one other fall sport that was available at the time, and that happened to be volleyball. Fun fact. So they signed her up for volleyball. She absolutely adored it. And then from there, I watched her grow up and play it. My younger sister, who was also here, Susan, she watched us play. So it just became entrenched within us. We were on the CYO teams and the high school teams, the travel teams, the whole bit. So we all had aspirations to play in college, and with the Olympics on right now, we were all like, oh, we're going to be Olympic athletes. And then we realized how tall we were going to be and realized that wasn't going to be in our picture. So I still had aspirations. I was the tallest of the three of us, so I actually stood a chance to do something awesome in college. So things are going really well freshman year. I've got already colleges reaching out. They're like, hey, you're on our list. Like Penn State was on the list for a little bit because I had a jump. I had good hops. I'm 5'8", so they were like, well, you could always be our libero and all that good stuff. And then the dreaded 2003, my sophomore year, season went really well for high school. Then spring, I went out for a club team. Club was awesome. I played in my first doubles tournament, which we rocked. It was so much fun. And the week after that, so it was February of 2003, I, at practice, tore my ACL. Didn't really know it at the time because I was like, what's that? It feels funny. And so I got an MRI, got the x-ray, tore my ACL, my meniscus and everything. So I just saw my volleyball career shatter. As a 15-year-old, as you would, because everything is just earth-shattering. So got the surgery right away after the first doctor saw me, and didn't think that there was anything to do with a second opinion or anything. I was like, no, my junior year of high school, it's like the most crucial college recruitment year ever. I need to be back on the court for junior year. So I did what I needed to do. I pushed as hard as I could. I only got to 78% strength, which they rounded up to 80% for me, and they said, go ahead and get back on the court. So I was back on the court as of August of 2003, and by December of 2003, after that season was over, I was a mess. I was hobbling around. I'm 16 and a half, and I look like I'm arthritic and 90.
Oh, my goodness.
It was awful.
So this was junior year.
This is junior year.
You were at 78%.
I was at 78%.
And they bumped you up to 80 and said, go for it.
They said, go ahead. You're going to get recruited. You go, girl. No, no college wanted me. I looked like a mess.
Oh, man.
I mean, I was grateful. There was one coach that said, because he knew me, he knew my family, my older sister. He was like, yeah, well, we would take you. But by the time spring of junior year rolled around, I did not play club. I coached instead. And I ended up having surgery that June of 2004 to remove some scar tissue in hopes that I could straighten my leg out.
Surgery.
So a second surgery.
On the same knee.
On the same knee. At that point, I was a fresh 17. Oh. Second surgery. On my driving leg, no less. So I wasn't driving yet either. Take away that independence. So that all happened. Senior year rolls around. I play. It's not great. I'd make the really hard decision to step away from volleyball prospects for college.
How'd that feel?
Really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was going to be able to play for life, which I thought involved college. So that was really, really hard. And then by the time spring of senior year rolled around, I'd made my decision to go to Millersville, which wasn't even on my list because I wasn't going to play volleyball there. But so many things happen for a reason. I'm a big believer in fate. I think if I had played in college, I wouldn't like the sport anymore. I think if I played in college, I wouldn't have done intramurals, which ended up being my master's program at Millersville later in life. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have been here. I also met my husband playing adult league volleyball in my adult life. So I don't think I would have met him.
Oh, shout out Steve.
Oh, shout out Steve Huff. So yeah, without him, my name's Miss Anelli. It's too long. People can't pronounce it. So I need something much shorter. So honestly, I think everything lined up for a reason. You know, it was meant to slow me down. It was meant to say, you know, don't go after that big school. Like, go after something. Go after the school for the major. Go after the school for the environment. Go after for all of that. So, you know, I landed where I was supposed to. But then all that adult league talk, in 2012, I'd long graduated undergrad. I was in the middle of grad school, and I went back and got a third surgery for another torn ACL.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So third surgery.
Third surgery.
Same leg?
Same leg.
Same knee.
Same knee.
Wow.
I know.
And it's, what year was this?
2012. So it was 9 years after the first one.
Okay.
Thankfully, not really thankfully, but my younger sister, who was here, like I mentioned, she also had a torn ACL, but her left leg. Oh. And she had two opinions after my debacle with my first experience. And her second doctor is wonderful. And that's who ended up doing my operation just 6 months after her operation. So,
goodness.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward, but I want to hear the story of from 2012 up until now. But I want to fast forward to where you are currently with the leg, with the knee, with all, and we'll go over the complications and things that did happen. But I want to hear where you are now.
So where I'm at now, so I still play volleyball. And all of that is thanks to just recognizing that there was another option. Like, I don't have to live with the arthritis that I have and just walk, you know, like that. I'm not limited to just walking and just being. I can still challenge myself at the gym. I loved lifting. I loved, you know, I used to like running, I used to do I did lift in college, not a lot, but I did lift, and I left it in high school with prospects for college volleyball and all that stuff. So I missed that. I thought that was all out the window. I really did. And entering into adult life, Steve is an avid lifter, so I really wanted to do that with him, and it just felt like I wasn't able to. I would try videos, I tried DVDs, I had other gyms, and I did have a trainer that I really liked, but it felt like recycled programs, and they weren't necessarily focused on the challenges that I have in my life. They're like, oh yeah, we've worked with knee injuries before, and it just... like, oh, well, did you? Then why am I running? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you have me jumping right now? You know? So, I'm just, so fast forward, here I am in Westchester and realizing that Matt is not any longer in Millersville or Lancaster or Oxford. You're here in Westchester, and just being able to run into you and understanding that you were so close to my house and I could make this work. And finally, my work schedule died down enough for me to be able to make the classes. And, you know, while it is group training, you all know me so well, and you know what I'm able to do. You know how I can be challenged. You know, I don't have to just say, oh yeah, I'm just going to walk a lap. Like, I'm going to walk a lap, but I'm going to top rack. You know, I'm going to, there's so many things that I'm now able to do. The fact that I can squat and stretch my quads.
That's what I was hoping we get to. Oh my gosh. Like, let's fast forward now. So let's say what we can do. And then let's talk about the journey of where you were and to that. Because this is like, I'm captivated in your story, even though I know a lot of this. Like, it's like almost like brand new information to me, hearing it, especially in front of the camera. It's like, whoa, like this is so like mind blowing. Yeah. So currently right now, you're squatting.
I'm squatting.
Pain-free.
With weight.
And you're playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And you're doing what else? What are you doing right now?
So I can stretch my quad, which sounds so silly, but I can pull my my leg up in just like a standard quad stretch, like, right? Yeah. But I did that randomly one night here, and I didn't even realize that I was attempting to do it because I hadn't done it seriously in half my life. Wow. Yeah. I just didn't have that mobility before. So just being able to do that, to be able to train with the bands, train with weights, at some point I also injured my back, and I think that was just all the years of my overcompensation with my legs. Yeah. But even still, I'm doing deadlift with lots of weights. We just did our challenge weeks, and like seeing my numbers and seeing that I'm not just doing a body squat, but like I'm actually getting good, solid numbers. It's just really, really cool.
And your range of motion is really impressive.
Yes.
For any human being, for any adult. any active adult, especially, like it is really great. And knowing your history with the knee and with your back and how everything you've had to overcome and deal with and continue to work through. Right?
Yes.
It's not a gone thing.
Yeah. It's not and that's everyone's fitness journey in general, fitness, nutrition, you name it. It's never one steady path. There's always going to be blips. But what's nice is that as I've gotten to know what my injury feels like and when I need to calm down, when I can ramp up, and I'm able to pose those questions to all of you, and you're able to say, oh no, let's back off today. Or no, let's stretch through this. Let's roll through this. Let's use the Theragun. Like there's so many different ways to get that knot. And here's 5, I can shoot you a text and I have like 5 stretches to do like immediately thereafter. I just feel known and taken care of, which I didn't see before anywhere else.
That's awesome. I mean, of course, I'm so humbled to hear all of this stuff, and it's the amazing team that we have to be able to help provide that amazing service for you. So shout out to the team because they deserve everything, all the credit.
Shout out Bob T.
Yeah, they are it. But for you, and so in 2012, and then moving forward and realizing that you were going to continue down the path of fitness and not just give up on all of your health goals, fitness goals, everything. What did you have to deal with after the third surgery? What happened? And then what about with your back and the hip? Give me the whole rundown there.
Everything. All right. So 2012, have the surgery, and this doctor is not rounding up. He's like, no, you're not getting to 80. You're getting to 90. So my younger sister also had to get to 90, and she did it in about 6 months. So give me an idea for the people who don't know what 80, 90 mean. Like, what does this all mean? So in physical therapy speak, they're able to measure the strength of your legs based on a machine where you're performing different exercises, and they can measure the strength of your quad and your hamstrings. So your push-pull. And my left leg became so dominant. That's my good leg. So dominant that it was really hard to get my right leg to even come close to that. So 90% means that this leg, the bad leg, needed to be 90% as strong, if not higher, as my, They always knew that, you're rehabbing a leg that needs to get better. It's going to take some time. You might not get to 100%. You probably won't. But if you can at least get to 90, you won't be doing the overcompensation walk. You won't be putting yourself at risk for further injury. And I was at 78% before. So, there you go.
And they moved you to 80 thinking you're just, she's a high school girl. Let's push her along. She'll be fine. Yeah. And it's those things, it's issues like that in the healthcare system that tend to be, even though they meant, I'm sure they meant well.
Right.
Like they intended well, right?
Absolutely. That's a doctor who was looking out for me, who was definitely reading in my situation what I was seeking to do. Yeah. And who knows, that could have been the standard at the time, 80%. Right. And what's 2% in that world if 80 was the standard across all orthopedics? That could have been where my second doctor was in 9 years prior, because there was only 9 years difference between the 2 surgeries. But my goodness, the amount of people that I had heard of that had ACL issues in that time, especially young females. So yeah, it's
very common, and still to this day it is.
It is.
We're finding a lot more in research about how to train different mechanics, different things that are going to help improve it.
Right.
Like for here with members,
thank goodness,
everyone who starts does a full functional movement screen before they even step foot into a workout. So for us, it's great because we get to see and have a standard of where they are, and then build on that by giving them some homework to do at home that they can take and use forever. And then come in here and we can then apply the different training modalities that we have into what they need and the different modifications that we need.
It's so important.
So you hit the nail on the head with especially when you said females, because we tend to serve like 70% of our clientele is women. Yeah. Women over 30, over 40.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've been so misguided as a gender for so long. It's been use the yoga DVDs, use the Pilates DVDs, and you'll be fine.
Right. Well, let's just throw out some numbers real quick. Okay. So for you, even with the knee, even with the back, because we didn't talk about the back yet, but even with your knee and the back, like right now, let's talk about those numbers. Let's talk about those numbers. Just share some numbers with me.
Oh my gosh. I'll translate to kettlebell colors. How about that?
That's good. I'll throw it down and let them know.
All right. So comfortably, the low squat low set squat. I was doing that yellow with no problem.
Okay.
That's the biggest.
The bigger yellow one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're at, let's see, 96, I think.
Or is that the 10?
Oh, 106. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. See, you know it. See, over 100 pounds.
Yeah. I think the blue one might be 97.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And when we were doing the challenge, we goblet squat with the 3. That's what I was doing with goblet.
You did 3?
I did 3 with that.
Holding 100?
Holding the 97.
Okay,
holding
97
the blue
pounds.
97, yeah.
97 pounds.
Yeah.
Up here. And you went through 3 squats in a row.
3 squats in a row.
Oh, man.
I started saying I can't do squats. And here I am less than 3 years later by the time we're doing that.
I literally this morning took a video of myself, like for another thing I'm working on, and said, if you say you can't, you won't.
Yeah.
And if you say you can, you will. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly.
No matter what. So you might as well just, either way, you're right.
Yeah.
Either way, you're going to be right. So you might as well just say you can and work toward it.
Right.
Instead of just saying I can't.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, it was so easy to say I can't because I've always been advised not to.
Yeah.
So then it was like, oh, well, I can't and I shouldn't.
Yeah, all the external forces coming in. It's the same thing with everything with fitness.
Right.
All the external forces with lifting, with women,
Yes.
right? How many times have we heard that lifting heavy weights?
I'm going to turn into the Hulk.
You are actually leaner and stronger and fitter than you were in college.
100%.
And even 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You look amazing. Thanks. Amazing. Like for real. But you're not lifting light weights.
Nope.
Those are heavy beep weights, like really heavy weights. And so that's just a squat. What are you doing with like bench press?
Oh, bench press has been like my favorite thing to improve. So for the, what was that? I either did the 50s or the 55s for 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 reps of 55 pounds in each hand.
And then you had me do the bar for 1 rep at 135. It was just a 45 on either side.
And you did it.
And I did it.
Which is freaking awesome.
Right? I was like, I can't. And you were like, you can and you're going to.
Yeah, and you did it.
Yes.
And what about your row? Because I know you're a rowing phenom.
Row was fun. And I didn't think with my back that I could get into a comfortable position with row ever. Yeah. And I'm really digging the kettlebells. So I was doing the green comfortably for 3.
53 pounds.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Stronger on my right than my left, but you know.
Oh my gosh. And then how about the deadlift?
Deadlift.
How about the deadlift?
So my highest on the challenge week was 195 with the trap.
195.
Yeah.
195 pound deadlift.
I know.
What?
I know.
That's easily 50, 60 pounds more than you weigh.
Oh my God. And like, what's cool is that, again, I started with a band.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Like,
yes.
I had a band and a pipe on my back.
Yeah. 3 years ago, that's how everybody starts.
Yes.
You hold the dowel, you go through the hinge, you understand the movement. Because if you don't know that movement, especially that one, there are so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Everything with your spine, anything with your spine goes wrong, you're out of here.
You're out.
Done.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to be able to come back. And I don't want that. I don't want you to get hurt.
No.
So that is so awesome. But that all goes back to you because you told yourself you could. Finally switched it and said, I can and I will. And you figured it out. And so I think a lot of credit goes to you, Laura, for keeping up with your own fitness. It goes to you for, I know that you go somewhere else. Where have you been going for your own extra hair?
Integrative health and wellness. They have been wonderful for my chiropractic needs.
Mm-hmm. Want to say that again?
Mm-hmm. Integrative health and wellness.
Hey.
Dr. Shuffler. And wife Dr. Shuffler.
Yeah, right. The Dr. Shufflers.
Yes.
See Dr. B.
Mm-hmm. So when I started with the back stuff, which was, I mean, I've known my knee injury. It's old enough to vote now. So I was 15. That is way over half my life ago. So that's scary. But an injury that I know what everything feels like. I know what a rainy day feels like. I know when I've done something. I know when to back off, when it feels great, all that. So when my back started hurting, I was like, what the bleep is this? So I turned to my regular doctor who had advised, try to go as natural as you can because I have pumped my body with way too much Advil with my knee stuff. So he said, try to go as natural as you can. You need your sleep, and I know you're not sleeping because your back stuff. So I replaced my mattress. I got all the topicals. I did all the acupuncture, and all those were okay for a little bit, but it was, ultimately with an injury like that, you have to build back up to moving. And I wanted to do nothing about that. I couldn't move, so therefore I wouldn't move. But thankfully, getting to a chiropractor and keeping up with movements here, just very light and bike and stretching, which was huge. And the chiropractics, they all gave me the proper exercises, the rehabilitative movements, rehab type movements. Yeah. That's how we say it in English. And I was able to get back. And here I am 2 years later, and I'm okay again. Yeah. Yeah.
That's consistency for you.
Consistency.
That's key. That's the answer. Yeah. Consistency is king.
Yes.
In everything, health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, wellness.
You got to show up for yourself.
You have to.
Yes.
Who was it? Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
Said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's for sure.
So if you're not taking shots and trying to, like you tried the acupuncture, you tried all these different things, and you finally found the thing that worked well for you.
And the combination of things.
And the combination of things. It wasn't just one. It was the combination of the few that really made it to where you are now.
And as it turns out, I've had back issues that were undiagnosed for a long time as a result of my leg stuff. So it makes sense. So going through all that with Dr. B and him showing me that X-ray that showed that I have degenerative disc disease, and that was probably brought on by all the yada, yada, yada.
You have degenerative disc disease?
DDD.
And you're over here deadlifting and squatting.
Yes.
And it's and that's like I'm making a point for the people at home.
Oh.
Like you can do these things.
I sure can.
You can with the right coaching, with the right technique, with the right form and bracing, with understanding those movements for yourself and the coaches working together.
And I'm so grateful that, again, this was not a doctor that told me that I shouldn't be doing those things, because I've had those doctors, and that's frustrating and that's really hard. And I'm not saying that I'm going to go out and start, running a marathon, because I know what I really can and can't do. But strength training and lifting with my feet supported on the ground, with proper technique, with coaches watching to make sure. It doesn't matter that I've been here almost 3 years. If I'm not doing something, if I'm putting myself at risk by doing something incorrectly, they're telling me, and they're doing it because they care. It's not like, how do you not remember this? It's no. Let's get you evened out. You're left leg dominant right now, which I have a tendency of doing.
Yeah.
So let's get you evened out. There's just so many different ways that I need that checkup, and I think that's something that everyone needs, and a DVD can't give you.
Got him. Oh, so good. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick commercial.
Okay.
And in that time, I want you to think about what you would say to someone who was in your position. So multiple knee surgeries, lower back pain, degenerative disc disease. It's hard for me to say that.
It's for me too. DDD's a lot easier.
Disease.
Okay.
With multiple things going on physically, I'm sure it's affecting the emotional and the mental too. But what would you say to that person? So I want you to think about what you're going to say. Give me something really strong, powerful to end on a good note here, okay? I'm going to do this little commercial. So for you, if you're listening in here on the podcast or if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you give us a thumbs up on this video. Leave us in the comment section what you enjoyed about Laura's story. Tell us how you can relate. Give us all the information about your own story. We want to hear about what you're doing. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to this on a podcast, whatever podcast platform you're listening on, please make sure you give us a 5-star review, because this is how we're going to make sure we can help more people, is by getting the stories out in there. And it's up to you to let everyone else know that this is worth the time. So 5 stars would be really helpful. If you don't think it's worth the 5-star review, just send me an email. It's matt@BentOnBetter.com. BentOnBetter.com. And I'll get back to you, of course. Okay? So Laura, give me some fire. Give me some power. Give me some stuff.
So everyone needs to channel their why, right? So I make it a point that my mission in life is to impact others. And if I can't show up for me, I can't show up for others. So finding the resources and finding the people, finding the place, finding anything that I can do to, I promise it's not hokey, make myself better so that I can show up for all of the people that I need to and want to show up for. That research is worth it. I'm worth it. And those people are worth it. And you are too.
That was so good. So good. Oh.
Boom.
Awesome. Well, you can't end any better than that one, Laura. That was so great. That was so great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on the Better Fitness Proof podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
That was so good. That was so good. And listen, they're out there singing.